Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Scary Spikes, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a continuation of my comprehensive beginner's guide for World of Warships. We're going to be diving into the tech tree. I'll be showing you how to research, purchase, and upgrade all of your ships. That includes the equipment tab where you can upgrade modules once you've researched them. We'll be taking a look at reordering our consumes, as well as the effect of signal flags and economic bonuses so that you can get the most out of your game. Before we get started though, a huge thanks to all of my wonderful channel members and patrons that make these videos possible. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to help show support, you can do so by clicking one of the two links down in the description below. And much love and thank you so much to all of you for all of your generous support. Alrighty, so we're hanging out in port here with the beautiful Polish Błyskawica. Is a really gorgeous Polish destroyer, one of the best in its class back in the Second World War. This thing really did a number, but we'll be talking more about this one possibly in another video. Do let me know if you'd like to see this or another ship with its own video down in the comments below. But we'll go ahead and jump right into the tech tree here. Now, when you're doing your research, and I don't mean research like in the game, I mean when you're doing your research as in trying to do a little bit of reading and find out what ships and what nations might be best for your particular playstyle, this is a really great place to check out because it gives you really everything that you need to know. Every ship that is a mainline ship in the game is here. Of course, there are exceptions. There are going to be ships that you can't get here that are only available as premium ships or only available for coal or steel, but that'll be another video. But you can start out by looking at all the different countries here. Now, I would really recommend starting with a nation, and I know that that seems like it might be kind of bottlenecking you a little bit, but really, when you start with a particular nation, that really helps to narrow your choices down quite a bit and makes it a lot easier to choose what you want. Now, initially, when I first started, I went with Japan because I always found Japan to be a very interesting nation. I've always admired their craftsmanship with their shipbuilding back in the Second World War. I always found that they really did an amazing job. They were very unique. They looked very interesting compared to some of the other designs. And then I also really enjoyed ships from Germany as well. So those are the two that I focused on the most. I would definitely recommend that if you're going to be starting right from the very beginning though, you do just focus on one. So what might be worthwhile for you to do is click through any of the nations on the left hand side that you might be interested in, and then simply mouse over any of the ships or the line of ships that might interest you. Have a little bit of a read. You can even click on them, and if you want to see them in the port, you can click on the little button at the bottom here, preview ship, and when you click on that, you're going to be able to use your right mouse button to get a nice good look around the ship. So this is going to show you how the ship looks and give you a little bit of an idea as to the ship's armament. Of course, while you're in the preview screen, you're going to be able to see a number of different stats over here on the right hand side, which if you again click on each one of them and then mouse over the particulars, you'll get so many more details that will show you exactly what the ship is all about. You can go ahead and click the back button on the top left hand corner of the screen to come on back. And so I would recommend for you, at least for now, to pause this video and go and do that through all of the different lines of ships that you might find interesting and see what it is about them that really gets you excited. Once you've done that, the next thing you need to know is the different types of ships available in the game. Now, there are going to be several main types. The first, of course, is going to be the battleship. Those are the big ones. And then you've got the cruisers, the destroyers, the aircraft carriers. There are premium ships as well, but I'm not going to talk about those in this video because they are basically ships that you're paying real money for, and they do have all the subtypes that we're currently talking about right now. So you can have a premium ship that is a cruiser, for example. You can have a premium ship that's a destroyer. So in this case, we can see that we actually have a battleship here. And I know it's a battleship without really reading too much because you're going to notice that each of these different categories of ships also have their own corresponding logo. Before we talk about that though, there are also submarines which do not appear on this list. And you can get access to submarines by doing certain combat missions. Again, this is another video that we'll talk about this in. However, there are also submarines, so do note that if you're in, the tier 4 to 6 range, you might start to see submarines. A lot of the submarines are like tier 6, for example. So if you're being matched within 2 ranks, which is how this game does matchmaking, whether you're playing co-op or whether you're playing PvP, you can have up to 2 ranks above or below the rank that you're currently at, or I should say the tier. So if you're in a tier 5 ship, you may get matched with as low as tier 3 ships. and as high as tier 7 ships. So there might be a mix of that. You'll never have that entire range. It'll only go in one direction. So you might have only tier 5 and tier 4 ships, or you might have only tier 5 to tier 7 ships, for instance. In any case, you want to go over and take a look at the strengths and possible weaknesses of each of these. And like I said before, the really nice thing about World of Warships is when you mouse over anything, it'll really give you a good idea. It'll give you a good indication of what it is that you're mousing over. There's a lot of information that's available, and that's definitely something that I would recommend for you to do. So once you've chosen what nation you want to play and what type of ship that you want, whether you want a battleship, a cruiser, destroyer, or so on, then at that point, that's when you have to start in doing your actual research. And what I mean by that is researching and playing the game so that you can get more XP to research stuff. So let's go ahead and start with the first one there, the Hashidate, and probably butchering that name. This is going to be a tier 1 cruiser. And if we click on that, we can see that up here in the top right hand corner is actually going to tell us 0. And that's going to be the same on the bottom right hand corner of the image that appears. And that basically is an indication of how much money this ship will cost. Now, if you remember, you started the game with one of 3 ships that was either a Japanese, an American, or I believe a German cruiser, but you did ultimately get access to all 3. Those are 3 ships that you get right at the very beginning of the game. You don't have to pay anything for them, and you can use them to start your adventure down the tech tree. So this is going to be a great place to start. Of course, if you want to save a little bit of time and you do have some free XP, you may want to just go straight into tier 2. Otherwise, go into tier 1. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about how you go ahead obtaining all of these different ships. So for example, the number 1 here, the tier 1 cruiser, we're going to go ahead and just get that by clicking on the buy button. Now this screen is going to come up and it's going to show us a couple of different things and give you a couple of different options. Now this of course is 0 because you're not paying anything for this. This will be replaced by the amount of credits that you'll need to pay in order to purchase a ship. However, this is not really a great indication, at least for learning purposes, on how acquisition actually works of various ships throughout the game. So what I'm going to do instead of going through this is I'm going to go straight to a ship that I don't have access to. So let me just see something that I haven't researched just yet. I've researched the majority of this stuff. Let's go to USSR. Okay, so the USSR I've pretty much barely not touched at all. And this is going to be a really good way for me to show you exactly how you need to sort of proceed in terms of getting ships of the next tier. So the first tier 1 ship here, as always, it's going to be free. So that's probably the one that we want. Now, me personally, I've got some free XP. And because of that, I can pretty much go directly into the next ship. You'll see that we have a 350 here, 350, and the star. The star is going to be representative of ship experience or ship XP. And the little coin icon will be representative of credits, which you can see up here with the matching credit symbol right there. Now this is a star as well, but it's green and this is free XP. The difference between regular XP and free XP is that regular XP is awarded to your ship after each battle, and free XP is awarded to you, the person playing the game, basically in your account here, which is usually a small portion of the amount of ship XP that you got after each battle. The ship XP can be used for a variety of different things, including, but not limited to, researching the next ship in a line in the tech tree, but it can also be used to research modules in the equipment screen, which we're going to take a look at in just a little bit. The really cool thing about free XP is that you can get it pretty much just slowly over time. If you're using premium ships, they get a lot more of that free XP, but you have to take it out of them by spending doubloons. So that is something that you have to kind of be careful about. If you don't want to pay any real money, then you want to stay away from doubloons, and you want to stay away from basically converting your free XP gained by your premium ships and any other ship that doesn't need that free XP for the purposes of researching anything into free XP that you can use in place of ship XP that you might not have. So in this case, if I were to put my mouse over this first tier ship here, we can see that I can just purchase it. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll click on that, and we do have sort of a nice rundown of all of the different things, all of the different stats on the ship here. You can go ahead and click through any one of these and mouse over at your leisure. And we have a few options here. We have the buy option, and we have the go to equipment and the preview ship option. So let's go ahead and click on buy. Now this is going to tell us the ship is going to be free. We do have an option to get a slot with this, and basically a slot is kind of like a garage or an extra storage space for a ship. So you might have a number of ships that you'd like, but you might only have a limited amount of slots. Generally speaking, if you purchase a premium ship or if you get a ship through an event, those ships do usually come with their own slots. So if you ever get rid of them because you don't want them, you should know that you always have an extra slot that way. So you can purchase an extra slot for 300 doubloons if you'd like. In my case, I think I've got plenty of slots and I don't really need any more, so I'm not going to choose that. And then you can choose to purchase a commander with that or not. Now, don't worry, if you accidentally click on no to this, then you will also have the option to recruit a commander later on. That's not a problem. And if you have a commander in your reserve or you have a commander that you've already used and you're not really using them right now, they're just kind of sitting idle, you don't need to buy a ship with the commander as long as that commander is of the same nation, and then you can just assign them to the ship pending some retraining, which we'll talk about in another video. So I'm not going to buy a commander and I'm not going to buy a slot, so I'm just going to go ahead and get the ship and we'll go ahead and press yes. So once you've done that, you're going to be in this screen here, and as you can see, we don't have a commander. Now, if you're a brand new player and you don't know what this is, don't worry, you will eventually unlock this. Commanders basically just add extra utility to your ships. You will unlock this through access phases as you play through the game, and it allows you to basically have someone who is commanding your ship. They're on board your ship. It's somebody that you can select, and they have a number of different skills available to them, which again, we'll talk about in a different video, which help to make your ship better in combat. So the first thing we do need to do, and I would really recommend for you to do this because you really should always have a commander in any of the ships that you're using, is go ahead and click this button here. And then you'll get a little screen here, and then we can see that I do have the Khabarovsk, and that's going to be my tier 10 premium destroyer. So we can see that we have our list over here on the right. That's going to be all of the commanders that we have assigned to other ships. And then here on the left-hand side is going to be our reserve. So this is showing all the different commanders that we have that are in reserve, that are not currently assigned to ships, but it will tell you the last ship that they were on in their little sort of tag there. So I see that we have this gentleman right here. We're going to go ahead and select him. He's got 10 skill points, which is going to be great. And then as you can see here, you have a variety of different skill points that you can go ahead and choose from. I'm just going to go ahead and just pick some of the recommended ones just very quickly here, just for the purpose of demonstration. There we go. We'll just go ahead and select those for now. Now, again, this is something we'll be talking about later on, and so don't worry too much about that. You do want to probably just mouse over any of these. Any of the ones with a little cross through them, those are not applicable to the current ship that you're on, or they're not applicable because you don't have specific consumables on that ship that these things improve. So don't worry about that. Just go ahead and pick whatever you think works for you for now. You can always redistribute your points later on. So go ahead and click the back button. Now that we have a commander on the ship, the next thing we need to look at is economic bonuses. Now, this is not something that you need to do right away, and in fact, if you really don't want to, because you're going to be progressing through a line of ships, it might not be worth it for you to place any economic bonuses on a low level or low tier ship. However, if you'd like to do that, you can go ahead and click on that, and then there is a premium package that you can get. You can get a premium package for pretty much just about any ship, and what this will allow you to do is it will allow you to get additional XP and money and stuff like that for your particular ship. Now, it's locked on this one because it's not available for this particular ship, but when you get into higher tiers, you will be able to do that. Now, there's going to be 4 main categories here inside of the economic bonuses. The first one is going to be credits, and as you can see here, we have a number of different bonuses that we can attach. These are each consumable, so they will be used automatically for each battle. So it's something that you should keep in mind. You do also have a very easy way to tell how many you have left. So we have 237 left of the plus 20%. For the plus 40%, we have 420 left of that one. And then we've got the 160%, and for that we only have 36 left. What you can do as well is you can have these purchased automatically by clicking this button here, but you do need to equip some. So we'll go ahead and just equip the basic ones for now. And as you can see, that's going to increase the amount of economic bonuses that our ship has, starting with credits, ship experience, commander experience, and the amount of free XP that we get after each battle. And again, you can go ahead and click on this if you are going to be running out of any one of these and using the ship often, and these will be repurchased for you automatically. I'm not going to need to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and unclick that. And then we're going to go ahead and click the back button and head back into the ship. Now, there's a few more things that we need to do to prepare this ship for combat. So we're going to go ahead and head over to the equipment tab. So you can go ahead and click on this. Now, if you're in the port, the equipment tab is going to be up here. So you can click on that as well. And as you can see, there's a number of different things here. We can see that we have our ship here. Again, if you mouse over that, we've got a lot of details. We've got all the same details over here on the right-hand side. Now, this is a fairly low-level ship as well. Remember, it's just a little tier 1 ship, so we're not going to have too much to upgrade. We've got pretty much just the standard run-of-the-mill regular old package from the shipyard there. We don't need to touch any of these. These are different components that are installed that we will be able to upgrade on higher tier ships, but not on this particular one because it's just very low tier. We do have one option though, and that's going to be a little upgrade slot here. You can go ahead and left mouse click on this, and then you will have some options, and you can basically select what option you want. Again, if you mouse over them, it'll give you an idea of what that upgrade will do. So in this case, the main armaments modification 1 is basically reducing the risk of our main armaments becoming damaged and so on. You can basically see all of the different bonuses that we have there. Now again, for something that is this low end, it's fairly easy to go through from rank 1 to, I would say, even rank 4 in a day. It's fairly straightforward. If you're playing co-op, it can be a little more tricky. I would definitely recommend a premium account, which again, we'll talk about in a different video. But if you don't have a premium account and you don't want to play PvE or co-op, then PvP will actually get you much more experience, although you'll probably die quite a bit faster. But the gameplay is very, very much subdued at lower tiers anyway, so nothing to worry about. I would recommend, however, not upgrading a tier 1 or a tier 2 ship. A tier 3, I think that's when I would start putting on some upgrades, since you'll be in the tier 3 ship a little bit longer. But generally speaking, the first 2 tiers, I wouldn't really even bother with the upgrades, because for one, it's not going to have enough of a meaningful change for you. And secondly, you're going to be going through that ship very, very quickly. As you can see, we only need 350 XP to be able to move into the next ship. So if we click on that, now this is going to show us the equivalent of what we saw in the tech tree a little bit earlier. So we can see that we have this one, the Novik. This is the tier 2 cruiser, and we can see that we need 350 XP accrued on this ship. And as you can see right there, it says 0. So this is the amount of XP that we currently have in order to be able to research and unlock the Novik. And then we need a total of 58,905 credits in order to purchase it. So that's how that works. And if we go back to the tech tree, you'll be able to see that the Novik, in fact, is the next one down the line. So if you're in the equipment tab, you don't necessarily have to go back over to the tech tree. You do have to make sure, however, that if you have an upgrade point here, if you have a secondary or a tertiary upgrade for your hull, you do need to go through that upgrade before moving to the next ship. So something to keep in mind. Over on the right-hand side here, you're going to see a few different things, sort of right in between this left pane and this right pane here, right in the middle of the screen. At the very top here is going to be your armament. So this is going to show you the different types of weapons that your ship has available. Now, again, we're in a tier 1 ship here, so it's very, very easy going. There's nothing too intimidating about this. We've only just got the high explosive shells, which is fine. We do also have consumables here. This is going to be our damage control party. So this is going to help us to basically deal with any particular emergency that we might have on the ship, whether we have a flood, whether we have a fire, whether we have a damaged or incapacitated component. This is going to help fix that. And the key for doing that is going to be R. Now, if you have multiple components here or multiple consumables here, as seen right here, these are your consumables. You can actually reorder them and move them around. And even if you have one, actually, this is very nice. I didn't even know you could do this. You can actually move this to any other keybind that you would like. So if you prefer to have your repair party on T, you can do that. However, if you deselect that, it will stay. So just be cautious of that. It will stay there. You will need to move it back to R. Deselecting this will not make things go back to normal. It won't make things go back to default. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so other than the consumables and the armament, we also have signal flags. And signal flags are little flags that you can put on top of your ship. And as with the modules and the commander abilities, I'm sure you guessed it by now, they have a variety of different things that they do. And believe it or not, if you mouse over them, it'll tell you exactly what that is. So the easiest way to do this, if you do have some signal flags that you'd like to use, you can just go ahead and click on this one here, the button right there that says mount the recommended flags. And that will take a look at your ship and mount the flags that are recommended for your particular ship. Now, like I said before, I wouldn't recommend any upgrades for tier 1 and tier 2 ships here, and that's going to be the same story here. I really wouldn't recommend you using any of your signals here, just because honestly I don't feel it will have enough of a change in the battle for you to even notice, and it's probably better to save these for longer battles with bigger ships that you're going to be spending more time in. So that's pretty much the equipment section. I hope that that was helpful to you. And if we go back to the tech tree, let me actually hop into a battle real quick. And once I come back from the battle, we'll take a look at how to upgrade to the next ship. And that'll give you guys a pretty good idea of how to work your way all the way down the line. So let me hop into a battle and I'll be right back. All right, so we're here at the end of the battle screen here, and we can see that because of our economic bonuses, we're able to get quite a lot of XP and credits and free XP, everything that we could use to get into the next ship very, very quickly. So we have over 85k credits, almost 2,000 ship XP, and almost 400 free XP. That's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and head back to the port, and then we're going to head back to the tech tree. And now I've already researched this. It was going to cost me, I believe, about 350 of the ship experience from the previous ships. So as you saw there, we get about 1,900 and change of the XP from that battle, and we used 350 of that because we now have 1,571 to research this next ship. To research it, honestly, very, very simple. This one's not researched, so I'll just show you an example here. Just click on the ship in the tech tree, click on research, but it will use the XP from the previous ship if you've got it. So in this case, we had plenty of XP on the tier 1 ship, and I used 350 of that to go ahead and unlock this one. Now keep in mind that you don't have to purchase ships to unlock the next ship for research in the line. All you need to do is research them. So if you just want to go down the line quickly and you have a bunch of free XP that you want to use, you can definitely do that. You don't have to purchase each and every single one of them. You can just go ahead and research them. And as you research them, and I'll show you this example here. If I want to research this, for example, we'll go ahead and click this. I will use some of my free XP just to demonstrate to you. I wouldn't recommend for you to do this, but this is just for demonstration. And we will see we've researched it there. We don't want to purchase it. And even though we didn't purchase it, now we have the next level unlocked. So this is a strategy that you can use if you do have plenty of free XP and you want to go through a particular ship line very quickly. But let's go ahead and show you the upgrades in the equipment section of this next ship. So let's go ahead and click on the tier 2 ship. We're going to go ahead and buy that. We're not going to get a slot or a commander, and we'll go ahead and press yes. 58k, and there it is. Beautiful new ship. So this is our tier 2 ship, and we're going to basically do the same thing as before. We're going to go ahead and click on assign commander, except this time you'll see that our commander is on the right hand side instead of the left, and that's because he's already assigned to the tier 1 ship that we had before. So we'll go ahead and click on him, and then you're going to get this screen. So this is commander retraining, and basically what this is any time that you put your commander on a brand new ship, they're going to need some time to get used to it before their skills as a commander on that ship are useful. So that means that none of their skills will actually be active until such a time where they are completely retrained. And there's a few ways to do this. The first and the arguably worst way to do it is with doubloons, because doubloons is a precious resource, and I would really not recommend for you guys to use doubloons to retrain or do things like this. So save those for purchasing ships or special upgrades or stuff like that, but do not use this for this purpose. Now we do have elite commander XP, and this can be gained by dismissing commanders and paying to bring some of their XP back into the pool. You can also get this through events and different things like that. And basically what this is, it's exactly the same thing as the free XP is for ships, but for commanders. So I wouldn't recommend doing this because 12,500 experience is fairly easy to get, and you can do that with the free retraining very easily, especially with the economical bonuses that you're going to be getting as rewards quite often, even as a new player. So I wouldn't recommend this, but if you do have a large pool of elite commander XP and you just want to get them sort of to retrain on a new ship that doesn't happen to be a premium ship, because if I haven't mentioned, you don't need to do this on premium ships. If you're sending someone to a premium ship, they don't need retraining. If you're sending them back to a regular ship, they will need retraining. So just something to keep in mind. Now we also have free retraining, and this is what I'm going to choose. Basically what this is it retrains your commander for free, but it does require some effort. It does require for you to get the equivalent amount of elite commander XP in commander XP during regular battles before they're able to use all of their abilities. And I'll show you how that looks like. So if we click on yes here, you can see that all of his abilities are locked, and now we have 12,500 XP that we need to gain. in order to unlock this. So he won't be gaining XP towards getting the next level because he's currently retraining on this particular ship. So once you've got that XP, all of this will be unlocked, and then if you continue to do battles with this commander in this ship, he will continue to gain XP regularly and eventually get a promotion to the next level. So heading into the equipment tab, you're going to notice there's going to be a few different things. You're going to notice, first of all, that we still have just the one upgrade slot on this tier 2 ship. However, we can upgrade these modules. Now, I've already researched this one. This is why it's telling me that it's only going to cost me money. But you will need to research these, and you will require ship experience in order to do that. If you don't have that experience, you can use free experience, but again, I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend you just to play the battles, get the ship XP, and use that to research these modules, and then purchase them so that you can better your ship. Now, one of the other things that you'll notice is we have an armament change as well. We don't have just the high explosives anymore. Now we also have our armor piercing, which is great. This is going to be good for heavy cruisers and battleships. We do still have the one consumable here. These will improve over time as you get into better quality ships and higher tiers, but for now, this is going to be just fine. Then we also have signals, as we saw before, and then over on the right-hand side, everything is pretty much the same. So if you buy these bonuses, your ship will get better. Again, I would not really recommend getting these bonuses for tier 1 or tier 2 ships. For tier 1 ships, because, well, you can't, but for tier 2 and maybe even tier 3 ships, they're not really as worth it because you're not going to be spending that much time on that particular tier of ship unless that is a tier that you know you're going to be playing a lot, and then by all means, go ahead and buy all the upgrades. So you can see that that's going to make a few things better, going to make us a little bit tankier, and give us a little bit more bonuses in combat. Now you're going to notice that you have 2 more icons down here, and if we go over to the tech tree, you'll be able to see exactly what this looks like. Now you can see that this is the ship that we're at, and now we have researched this. We're able to actually move down the line into the rest of the cruisers, but we're also able to deviate over to the destroyers as well. One thing that you should note is that if you're in here, you don't really have to upgrade to these if you don't want to. So if you just want to continue moving down the line, you can just go ahead and research and purchase those ships without actually having to research and purchase these modules. So again, if you're only going to be using this ship as a stepping stone, do not research the modules, do not purchase them and equip them, because really it's not going to help you if you're only using it as a stepping stone, especially in the very early stages. However, if you are in the later stages, you are going to be grinding a lot, and in this case, those modules may help you, so it's something to weigh and keep in mind. One other thing that I did want to mention as well is that you do have the exterior tab here, which allows you to customize your ship a little bit more. And these used to actually have the bonuses that the economic bonuses have, but now they are just for look. So we have a couple of different tabs here. We've got the camouflages up here, and we've got the flags up here as well. I don't have too many of these flags, but you do tend to get them through special events and stuff like that. So just keep your eyes open for those if you want to customize with flags. But you are going to be getting quite a lot of camouflages through events and different missions and stuff like that, as well as just through containers. And I've got quite a few here. The camos are not really going to do too much other than just change the way that your ship looks. Some of them look really cool, and others not so much. You can purchase these once you've used one of them. So for example, I don't have this one available, but I can purchase one, and it's going to cost me some money. So if that's what you'd like to do, you can definitely pimp out your ships and make them look a little bit cooler. Other than that, though, it's not really going to have any kind of economic bonus on your ship. So if you're just looking to, power through a certain number of tiers before you get to the ship that you really like, this might not even be really well worth doing. And then you just get to the ship that you want and then put all the pretty camo on it that you like. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you found it helpful and enjoyable. And if you did, you can help me out in a big way by just remembering to like the video and become a subscriber with notifications turned on if you've not done so already, so that you don't miss any of my future content. If you'd like to help me in a more direct way, you can check out the Patreon and the channel membership links down in the description below. And of course, leave me a comment with your thoughts and let me know what you'd like to see next. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.